we are in Harmon, and we hope you are having a fantastic Monday morning. If you're joining us from the States, you're enjoying, hopefully, your Sunday evening. I'm Jason Salas, and on behalf of all of my colleagues, thank you for starting your day at the KUAM Way morning meeting now in effect, and hashtag Team Same Shirt. Look at this. This is basically like the same. We did not plan this, did we?
People can't see you right now. You just look like a floating
I
head.
look. We're all. Seriously, we do. Okay, what is this? Like Old Navy or Macy's?
Old Navy.
Okay, yeah. What was your thought process when you got up this morning?
My thought process was, man, I hope Jason wears this shirt because I know we both have it, but we always wear it on different days. So this morning I was like, I really hope this is the day.
Okay, please use some emoji. Make fun of us. Hashtag Team Same Shirt, and then we have Wednesday Addams from the Addams family.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a nice outfit,
Yeah.
and then
You and Nestor are kind of channeling like the Catholic Church here.
yeah, and then Pali Nestor Lecanto right here. Good morning.
Too soon.
I forgot my collar.
Too soon.
So obviously it's a festive mood for us here today, but that does not take away from the fact that we are covering some very big issues. But let's get you up to speed on a very exciting weekend. You and I were. There was this little tiny matter of a somewhat relatively well-known restaurant opening up in
Jollibee, the grand opening of Jollibee.
Man,
Wow.
They
And it was
treated
packed.
the opening of Jollibee like a Star Wars premiere.
Seriously, okay.
Only on Guam.
Pandemonium, and and we have to give it up to the 15-year-old kid, Landon Laureano from Ukiduhai, who I'm sure is an absolute celebrity this morning at the home of the Bulldogs. So Landon and your classmates, if you're watching us, thank you for giving us such an awesome interview. Landon lined up at 9 p.m. Friday night. 12 straight hours he waited. He braved the rain, the wind, fatigue.
Snow.
Yeah, his mother was there, and he got food for his entire family. The first ever order that Jollibee at the mall facilitated, they had 2 buckets of Chicken Joy, which was awesome. We tried that. He got 4 hot fudge sundaes, which at 9:30 in the morning is totally cool. They got some spaghetti, and they got 4 heaping servings of rice. So really, really cool. Everybody there was having such a good time.
There was rice. I didn't see the rice.
Yeah, we didn't get rice, but there was rice.
Yeah.
And then we did a mukbang, which by our numbers, I mean, Ken and I do this stuff all the time, and like Asha takes a look at the numbers. We are blown away at how many people watch that thing. I don't think we should be surprised.
No, I don't think so. Well, maybe they were wanting to watch you eat the ice cream with your spaghetti, which was totally disgusting.
I keep telling you guys, ice cream and
Why
spaghetti
that?
is a thing.
But-
Mark my words.
No, but the food was incredible. It was really, really good. I really was impressed with the chicken joy. That was really good. And then the spaghetti, the sweet spaghetti, I was expecting it to be really sweet, but it actually wasn't. So it was really good. And then it had a little hot dogs and sausages
has
in
hot
it.
dogs in
I
it.
never had spaghetti with hot dogs in it. So
You've
it was really
obviously
good.
never been to a Filipino party, Bree.
Okay,
My mom's part Filipino.
and what's interesting is, here at KUM, we work on facts. We deal with like factual information. And what was true is, Nestor, there were more people covering the Jollibee opening as far as our colleagues in the media. There were more cameras and more videos rolling there than there were at the marijuana bill signing, which you did the previous day, which blows my mind.
Yeah, what can I say? I mean, Guam's a foodie place. I mean, food stories always draw a lot of, people watching that stuff.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, and I'm excited because Pepper Lunch.
Pepper
Lunch is the grand opening is this week. I know they had a soft opening over the weekend. There was a lot of people there, but I think we're going to
tomorrow,
be heading there.
actually.
It's tomorrow, so
Yeah.
we'll be heading there tomorrow. So you'll definitely want to check that out.
Okay. There's a lot of other very, very serious things going on, including you, Mr. Barnett.
Serious stuff.
Yeah, you're hitting GovGuam pretty hard this week.
Yep. Well, I got some good news for government employees from Senator Joseph Augustine, but that's all I'm going to say. Watch the news tonight.
Tonight at 6. Also, a big week for our Maga Haga. She's delivering her very first State of the Island address from the legislature, which we'll be carrying the live stream. Then we'll have a show after from down at the legislature. So it's going to be interesting to see what she's going to say. I mean, a lot of things have happened over the last couple of weeks. So.
A lot of things have not happened.
Yeah, this is her first one, so, be very anxious to see what she touches on. And of course, we're still following the marijuana. You reported on Mr. Sedfri Lansangan's filing of a complaint
Right.
in district court, so we'll see how that goes.
And he said he didn't have a problem with marijuana per se. He had a problem with the way that the bill was passed, and he said that, hey, in all these other jurisdictions, they did it through initiative, meaning the voters are the ones who initiated the process. And And I guess he really believes that the governor and the senators acted unethically and flouted some federal laws when they passed this marijuana legislation. So, we'll see.
Also, your podcast.
Podcast.
Very appropriately named. Senator Ridgell, Clint Ridgell, a former colleague of ours here at KUM, came in and you guys had a lengthy conversation. And
Right.
he was very candid, very forthright about
Right.
everything that he's been through personally and where we go from here.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting that he brought up that this is something he's been thinking about doing since he was in high school.
Mhm.
And so I guess he did a paper on it then, and I was talking to him before and after the show, and he said, yeah, it kind of bugged him looking at the parallels with alcohol prohibition and marijuana prohibition, and it kind of was, I guess, one of the things that really drove him from a young age.
It's a really good conversation. It goes about maybe 42 minutes, so you can find it on SoundCloud, on our Facebook page. Since you're on Facebook, just scroll a little bit down on our timeline. You can find Chris's discussion with Senator Ridgell there, and it's also on our YouTube channel, so make sure to check that out. What's on In the Mix? That's a question on everybody's mind.
Actually,
What adventure are you going on this week?
Well, we still have Roaring to go. Then we started a new segment called Pepsi Pulse. So it takes a look at entertainment news locally and globally. But the one thing that I'm excited about is how recently I had the opportunity to go with the U.S. Department of Agriculture and watch them perform their latest aerial bait drop using their new ADS aerial drop system. So they started
Fancy
this program.
words.
Yeah, they
Fancy
started this
words.
program like in 2012. But the way they did it was they were dropping these mice with acetaminophen.
To get rid of the brown tree snakes.
Right,
Yeah.
and they were attached to a cardboard, and then it had these streamers, but they manually dropped them. So over the years, they've developed this system with this company out of Boulder, Colorado, that now you can drop so many of these capsules, and I think they dropped like 6,600 last month over this HMU, which is a Habitat Management Unit at Anderson Air Force Base. It's 55 hectares, and so it goes really fast, and so they monitor, how many how it worked with the snakes, and then they also monitor to assess the quality of the actual new ADS.
Now, if I can use this,
So that's really geeky.
if I can use a movie analogy, you literally are dealing with snakes on a plane.
No, because it's not they're
So
not on
it's
a
just
plane. They're trying to
they're
control
little
the brown
mice,
tree snake.
and
Yeah,
they
little
got
neonatal
aspirin in
mice,
them.
right?
Yeah.
They're glued into this little capsule, which kind of looks like a feminine product. And so they glue it, and then they put it in this cartridge, like
And then it's like this,
3,000.
basically.
Yeah, and
It's
then they
like-
put it into the helicopter, and it shoots it out really, really quick over the HMU.
Who thinks of this stuff? That's like $1 million idea.
I don't know, but it's really cool. And they, they're doing
It pays
this
to be a
brown
defense
tree-
contractor,
brown tree
apparently.
snake control program
Nice.
to eradicate the brown tree snakes, control the brown tree snake population, so that they can recover our native bird population.
Now, this kind of goes
and
back to,
reintroduce it.
you have covered utilities for a while, even when you came back to KUAM after, your hiatus away from Camp Happy here. But one of the first things you were doing was utilities. And remember, way back in Guam's history, brown tree snakes were always like the scapegoat for why is the power out? Oh, a snake must have like crawled up there and took a nap or was trying to mate with the power line, and
Yeah, that was
things went
all-
crazy.
Mate with the power.
That was the fallback excuse. Oh, it's a snake.
Hopefully
Yeah,
not the
brown
case
tree snake.
anymore.
We haven't heard that one in a while.
Haven't
though.
heard that in a while.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. I guess we're.
They say there's 2
Fire
million
fruit.
brown tree snakes on Guam.
2 million?
2 million.
Wow.
Well, then there's that
And-
Wall Street Journal report that's been circulating
Yeah.
for years now.
I asked them, though, I was like, 2 million, but I hardly ever see any brown tree snakes on Guam. And they said, well, they're very good at hiding. They at
Staying
least
on the
capture
base. As long as they
21,000
stay on the
a
base
year
for cool, then-
in their normal
Yeah.
operations.
Well, they're nocturnal, so
Mm-hmm.
they come out at night and stuff.
Okay.
Hey, can I make a plug for cruising tonight?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
We did an interview with I guess we have our first Magahaga, and we have our first gentleman.
First dude.
Yeah, for those that don't know, he's attorney Jeff Cook. Been married to our governor for I don't know how many years now.
Yeah.
And interesting guy. He's very laid back, and he said, don't call him the first gentleman, call him the first dude.
And that actually premieres right here on Facebook at 10 a.m. So you guys are going to be able to watch it with all your friends. You can add comments and have a really good conversation about a really, really nice guy.
He's a good guy. Yeah.
I've seen the rough cut of your talk with him, and it's very entertaining.
Yeah.
We saw him actually Saturday night at the Guam Memorial Hospital Volunteers Association gala.
And he was a
He's got
little
chance.
nervous. He was like, "Hey, are you guys gonna make me look good?" We're like, "Well, no need, because he's such a nice guy."
Yeah.
Okay, and speaking of plugs, since my initial movie analogy failed miserably about snakes on a plane, I do want to give a plug of my own to what Ken and Asha and I were working on this weekend. We are going to have on Real Talk, on our podcast this week, a review of Pet Sematary. And I am not pleased with that movie. Let me just say that. I've been waiting 4 days to go off on that movie and the way I felt about it, but that's coming up tomorrow.
Okay.
Expect fireworks.
All right, thanks for starting your day the KUAM way. This has been a starting lineup. Of course, Monday, our morning meeting on behalf of the team here. My name's Chris. Bye.
Bye.
See you
Team same
Facebook.
shirt.
I like that you're like,